But, speaking of Cesaro, this past week I played the audio before the show. Cesaro defeating Randy Orton in clean fashion on SmackDown. What an amazing matchup that was. By far, I think, actually it's debatable at this point with last night, but by far one of the best matches of 2014 up to this point. And then last night that was put up to debate when he faced John Cena on Monday Night Raw. Of course,
I'm like every internet wrestling fan. I despise John Cena on a pretty big level, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching it, and the things that I marked out for weren't things Cesaro did; they were things Cena did.
Yeah,
the reversal out of the big swing into the DDT. That was
amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah,
it's just the thing. I'm going, okay, I like. It's been subtle, and it's not been, really mentioned too much from what I've seen. But the last year, maybe year and a half, John Cena has really stepped up his wrestling games, I think. I mean, it doesn't do anything towards me liking him or not. Like, even the moves he tries to do still look a little shoddy. Like, he has the worst Hurricane Rana I've ever seen in my
I give him
life.
props for attempting it, though.
Yeah. I mean, he took a pile driver. It's just, the things he's done in the last year have made me hate him less, but I hate him mainly because of the fact that I feel that his aura is what doesn't allow the guys that I like to get up. It's a typical wrestling fan, grew up in Grimeland,
Oh, no, yeah, absolutely. His character isn't great. I completely agree with that. His wrestling skills, I would go even further beyond that and say that he's been proving the critics wrong as far as his "you can't wrestle" chants go since 2011 during his match with CM Punk at Money in the Bank a couple years ago. I thought that was a tremendous match, and from that point forward, he's been having great matches. His matches with The Rock, those are debatable, but everything else, I think, has been fantastic. His matches with Daniel Bryan.
What are you talking about? He just won a match of the year. I don't understand.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. It got match of the year.
If they wanted to give it to Cena, I understand that. But give it to Cena and Bryan. From SummerSlam. That was one of the best matches John Cena's ever had, period.
Yeah, that was an excellent match. Him and Cesaro, him and Punk, like you mentioned. It was a year ago next week that he had that amazing matchup with CM Punk on Raw that lasted half an hour when the winner went to WrestleMania. So, yeah, I completely agree.
Heard around the world.
yeah, that was such an amazing match.
My girlfriend's always been watching wrestling as long as we've been together, so probably less than a year. She got hooked on the CM Punk DVD. We watched it on Netflix, and she was like, "Oh, I want to watch it again, see that guy." And then I wasn't watching Raw because I had to go to work. I worked third shift. She texted me and said, "I don't know what just happened, but it looked brutal." And I'm like, "What?" So then I got on Twitter, and I think it was you or somebody else said something about a pile driver, and I was like, "Wow."
Yeah, that was a great match. I got to go back and watch that.
It's a great move, man.
Yeah.
It's one of the best moves of all time.
It's classic.
I mean, but
I think the fact that it's not used anymore is a good thing, because when it is used, in WWE it's banned, but I mean, CM Punk went against the grain, and I think it was Punk that used it, not Cena, I don't think, but
yeah, no, that's what I said. Cena took it. Like, that's what it's...
Oh, yeah. But, the fact that it's not used anymore, and when they do use it in a blue moon, and when they use it, it feels that much more special. Like when over in, not to trash TNA like every other typical guy on the internet, but when Bully Ray did the pile driver to Mr. Anderson week in and week out, and pile driving every member of Aces and Eights, and said, "I'm going to pile drive your wife and your kids every single week." Come on, it loses its impact after the first three times.
Bully Ray's probably one of the best things that's ever happened in TNA, though. Bully Ray's a great deal, man.
He is, yeah. He does a great job of getting heat. I just think his current, again, going off on the TNA tangent, but, nonetheless, we just go all over the place here. But anyway, his feud with Anderson, it was good early on. I think it overstayed its welcome. I don't know if you saw it or not, but
that's TNA's claim to fame.
Oh, yeah.
Things.
Yeah, but they were in a church or something. Not the Aces and Eights funeral. I thought that was hilarious. Yeah. But they had Anderson and Bully Ray in a funeral home, and you just see Bully Ray sitting in the back, and it was laugh out loud funny. Like, it was that hysterical, because it was it was badly produced. And the lines that they were saying were terrible. And it's just the content that they were saying in that promo was just hilarious, and not in a good way either. So
like the acting in that scene could have led up to like a hardcore porn thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't even have been surprised.
Oh my god. Yeah, that was just stupid. The whole Dark character that he's been doing, not my favorite incarnation of the Bully Ray character, but yeah, I definitely agree Bully Ray is a great heel. Yeah. But what were we talking about before that? Oh, John Cena. Yeah, of course, his match with Cesaro. Someone tweeted me after the match and said, "How can you enjoy this crap? Cena just buried Cesaro." I'm just sitting there laughing like, how did he bury Cesaro? If he buried Cesaro, he would have beat him in like 30 seconds with like 2 moves. That's burying someone. Yeah. You talk about burying.
He would have kicked out of like 2 neutralizers or whatever.
Yeah, and the uppercuts and that.
Yeah,
oh my god!
Just because you beat somebody doesn't mean you're burying them. Man.
Oh yeah, exactly. That suplex off the top rope was amazing. People got out of their seats and they were like, "Oh my god, Cesaro's gonna win."
He's a lot of the moves that he's getting big. I've been watching him do for years. Like,
yeah.
I watched him. There was a guy. His name was T.J. Perkins.
Yep, Manic in TNA. Yep.
Yeah, I watched him do a giant swing, or Cesaro swing, or whatever you want to call it, on T.J. Perkins for 100 revolutions.
I think that's on YouTube somewhere.
He spun that man for 100 times. And not the stupid WWE, let's count times instead of revolutions. So it was like a revolutionary 100. It was the most incredible thing I've ever seen.
It's comical. It's comical looking back on it now because it was almost a year ago that reports were surfacing online saying that backstage officials thought that Cesaro was too boring in the ring, and I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah,
and that
came because they wouldn't let him do anything. They wouldn't let him.
And that came only days after.
I don't know what he calls it. In the WWE 2K14 game, it's called the very European uppercut. It's the back body drop into the European uppercut. He used to call it the Swiss Death when he was in a...
Yep.
That move, the first time I seen him do that in a WWE ring, I was like, okay, well, that's a fine. Like, I don't understand. But the fact that they're letting him... I think, watching a guy like John Cena, take such a dangerous-looking move,
yeah,
that speaks volumes, I think, to the backstage wrestlers, how much they like him and want to see him get over by letting him, put in that good stuff. Like, that dead weight superplex balancing on a rope, that could go wrong so many ways. You could drop a guy. You could give him like an accidental brain buster on the rope or what's up. But I mean, I think it just speaks volumes to how people think of him backstage to let him do that kind of stuff on him, especially the main John Cena.
I think it was at a house show a couple months ago that either they were in Germany or Switzerland or wherever else, and Cena had a match or something. Then he called out Cesaro to a big hometown pop, and he put him over in a huge way. And then there was a photo surfacing online of them working out together at the Performance Center. So it's no secret that Cena's very high on Cesaro. So, and otherwise,
oh my God! Before I lose my train of thought and lose my anger on this, the one thing that ruined the match, I didn't ruin it, but Michael Cole saying that John Cena and Antonio Cesaro are cut from the same wrestling deal.
Yeah.
What he said. I was watching. You got to be fucking. Oh, pardon my French. You got to be kidding me. There's no. Sorry, bodybuilder, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. No way. There's no way Cena could ever hold a candle. The only reason he looks like he holds a candle is because Cesaro carries him on his back for the match for the most part.
Yeah, that was great. That was a good line from Comedy Cole over on commentary.
I've been really upset with the commentary for a while now.
It was better last night. I think it was better last night, though. They were focused last night. They didn't spend too much time on the shenanigans.